Peace and blessings, everybody. Welcome to another installment of You Think podcast. We kind of started a little. We started a little unorthodox, but around here, nothing is orthodox or normal, so to speak. Today, I mean, I don't need to introduce myself. If you don't know who I am by now, whatever. Today, I'm accompanied by a very special guest. If you haven't noticed by now, a lot of you know him as, he probably goes by many names amongst his peer group, but I know him as Fluorescent Lightning.
Hi, Yellow Harold.
You know what I mean? But I'm gonna let you introduce yourself.
My name is Reynoir. People call me Rennie or DJ Scoop or a lot of things. And I'm just here today as Rennie. Even the dog has now pooped in our area again. And
you see that, right? It's crazy.
It's fine. Because we're just going to choke him out in a little bit. It's okay. We'll put him in a headlock. We're going to put him to sleep until we're done.
It's fantastic. So tell the people what you do.
Oh, I do a lot of things. Formerly a full-time DJ of close to 30 years. I also do photography, videography. Recently got laid off, so welcome to the club, y'all. How y'all doing? I'm back
Unemployment gang!
And I also have a wood shop called Made by Reynoir, where I build a lot of things. Tables, furniture, props for events, large items, and I'm hoping in the future to go help, assist, or work for a large event production or fabrication company. So if you know somebody, call me. You heard?
So I must ask, I don't even think I've ever asked you this, but what brought you to woodworking? I mean, videography and all of the other...
Zombie apocalypse.
Okay, elaborate.
All of my talents, all of my resourcefulness was taken away. So the zombies arrived and you couldn't DJ a party, you couldn't photograph people. Well, considering my studio at the time was built into my house, can't really invite people over when people are turning into zombies outside.
That's some rich brother player stuff right there.
You got a pregnant wife, so you really can't invite people over.
That part.
Because that's not going to work out very well. I did virtual DJing for a little bit, but it just wasn't the same, right? You put me in a room, I'm personable, I can close. You take me out of the room, and I'm no longer personable, right? So DJing, photography, videography, all of my main talents and skill sets, the things I did for a living, like by day, were taken away from me. So I found myself with a lot of free time. I had no kid at the time, right? So I wanted to go back to what I did as a kid, which was paint. That quickly transitioned into, I want to paint on something that's functional. So I made a table. My next door neighbor, who you met, Joe, was a former full-time carpenter. So he was like, have fun. Here's a garage full of tools. I don't use them anymore. So I built a wine cart. Then I painted the wine cart. I built a coffee table. I painted the coffee table. Then other people were like, yo, can you help me since you can da-da-da-da-da? Okay, cool. Let's experiment together. Then my uncle showed up with a piece of an NCAA basketball floor, and I built a dining room table. At that point, the floodgates had been opened.
Okay.
Because after you build a 350-pound table from a slab of floor, well, you can build anything.
Excuse us, guys. In the process of us talking to you, I'm attempting to inflate this inflatable house for my children to give them somewhere to play in the backyard. So when it gets noisy, I guess we'll time lapse it and we won't subject you guys to such egregiousness.
What? What
that you'll be subjected to that though.
What happened? Huh? It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Okay.
It looks like they want you to cut.
Right, around. So, aside from woodworking, what brought you to DJing? Or did, obviously DJing came before all of that, or
DJing was first.
Okay.
I got my first paid gig at the age of 8. It was like a...
Wait, did you say 8?
8.
Okay.
I've been doing this for a very long time.
Phenomenal.
It's a family friend. And, I mean, backstory on that is, went to go visit my uncle in the DMV. And Unc Hold on. If you pinch the top of the blade, you'll control its depth.
Copy that.
Then you know you can't.
Yeah.
Slice your shit open.
Copy.
Went to go visit my uncle in DMV. Shout outs to Uncle Romero. Big
Shout
Ro.
out Uncle Ro.
See you. He had a music studio in his basement. They used to play music, like all kinds of instruments. Drums, guitar, piano, violin, everything was down there. And he gave me a tour. I might have been like 6, 6.5.
Wasted paper, yay!
You heard? That's to make sure you don't cut your joint.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because they know people not gonna listen.
For sure, they gonna be like,
yeah. And we went through all the instruments. We got to the turntable and he made the record move, and I was like, I don't know what that is, but I like it. I want to play with it. And when we came home, you want to pull it out or you want to turn it over?
Yeah. I'm listening. World, they're listening also.
Box is fighting back.
Yep.
Do you need that paper?
It's probably instructions or a warranty card or something. Oh, inflatable product instructions.
Koba, you got a new house. Go play. So when we were leaving his house, he sent me home with a little mixer. And that Christmas, my mom bought me a turntable, or a record player rather. My dad gave me some of his records, and that's the beginning of the end. Now I did tear up some records. Sorry, Dad. Definitely scratched those up. Definitely had a belt drive turntable that had 0 power. Didn't know what I was doing. YouTube didn't exist yet. So you kind of just figure it out. And my DJ setup for years was 2 turntables, 2 CD players, or 2 turntables, a CD player, and a tape deck.
Okay, so you're not just a CDJ.
No.
Not taking anything away from anybody who's a CDJ. I'm not throwing shots.
It was all vinyl, plus obviously CDs that I had, and then tapes. So my oldest brother was a big hip hop head, so I had a lot of rap music or current music on actual cassette tape.
Okay.
So as I transitioned, tapes went away, got into a CD burner, made my own CDs, bought more records, learned how to scratch, all of those things. And yeah, my first paid gig was at 8. Kevin Rockman. It was a party for him at the Bergenfield VFW, actually.
Okay.
And Rockman, I believe, is one of the people that was Rasheed Wallace's athletic trainers back in the day. He worked at City College with my mom, with my godfather, all of that. Close family friend. But Rockman is a cool dude. Always been. And ever since then, I was a DJ. I think I've been to 17 countries, 37 states. I worked for 2 labels. I DJ'd on a cruise ship. Interesting. Don't do it. You will see, if you want to see the weirdest things you've ever seen in your life, go work on a cruise ship.
I mean, it's alcohol, bro.
Just do one. No, bro. Not even alcohol. I'm talking in general. Like, if you want to see the craziest things humanity has to offer,
I think I should cut this.
That is not in a war zone.
I think I should cut this.
Yeah, you have to. You want to see the craziest things that humanity has to offer, not in a war zone? Go work on a cruise ship. Human habits are absolutely insane.
What's the wildest thing you've seen on a cruise ship?
Kids throwing shit over the side of the cruise ship.
Yeah, that's expected.
No. Like things that are bolted down.
I mean,
like they unbolted it.
I mean, there was the kid that threw the hotel chair off the balcony, off the rooftop, and killed that person in New York. So it's not. It's not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Bored people are gonna do bored shit, bro. And being on the ocean, you ain't got much to do but eat and drink and play games.
Outside of that, I think the nastiest thing I saw was someone vomited in one of the cafeterias. You know how they have them like per floor, per side.
Right.
So the ship I was on, your cafeteria is split in two. You basically got off an elevator or off the steps, and you were in the middle. And there's a hand washing station on either side, and then you can enter. You can go left or right. Person vomited, stopped vomiting, went back to eating, vomited more, and then ate more.
That's absolutely insane. Wait, where did they vomit? Where did they vomit?
You said what?
Did they vomit in the water?
They vomited on the floor. So like projectile.
It's rough.
Back to my meal.
It's rough.
Projectile. Back to my meal.
Rough.
And it was like, obviously I'm the DJ, so like I don't, I'm staff, but I'm not really staff. Like I ain't that kind of staff. So I don't have a radio. So I go and find somebody to call it in, and we come back, and homeboy is done with the meal after he'd vomited twice. Now, he could have vomited more since I had left, but it was just like, man's made himself a little pool of vomit. And everybody around him now wants to vomit because the smell of vomit.
The smell of vomit is going to trigger all crazy. Of that. It's going to be nasty, bro. And now I just saw it too. All of you with animals, it is important for you to walk your animals because, bruh, if you have a dog that's anything like mine, he's going to leave you some presents. And if you're not paying attention,
open,
still.
So we don't necessarily need to find it right now.
That's
it's kind
fair.
of cold outside.
That's fair. But I literally just saw it, and that's what like made me go over there. I was standing over there. I saw it here. But anyway, back to the
I saw a lady break her ankle.
Okay.
With the shuffleboard anchor. So people were playing shuffleboard, and this woman decided to walk through the board. And as she was walking, her foot went down as she went to go step over, and it hit her foot. And I don't know what kind of shoe she had on, but normally, like, your foot would slide from being hit. Her foot just stood there.
Right.
And the impact of the shuffleboard anchor weight, I don't really know what it's called, hit her and folded that ankle in half.
That's whack.
And it was disgusting.
So out of the 3 ventures that you currently embark on, woodworking, DJing, photography, which is your favorite?
It's hard to choose, but I would say currently woodworking is my favorite. I get to use my design background and skills. I have a degree in graphic design, electronic design, and media. So I get to use my design skills. I get to use my hands, and I get to make things and bring them to life for not only myself, but for other people. And I find that to be fun. DJing, for full time, after about 20-something years, it was no longer fun. Humans took the fun out of it.
I can understand
Just being ridiculous, being jerks, being drunk, being obnoxious. Like, you don't want to get to the point where you don't like people, but I got to the point where I just didn't like people anymore.
Yeah, I don't like people sometimes. I'm going to be honest with you.
So I didn't want to get paid to have to deal with people. I'd rather go DJ something for my family and not see a full paycheck, but I can at least have fun or trust that.
Please excuse the crinkling, guys. I'm hoping that this noise canceling mic cancels all of this out, or most of it, so to speak. But again, we may just time-lapse this for you guys for the sake of your eardrums, depending on where you are listening to this.
I was gonna say I just stopped talking until we
that part
uncrinkle. I don't see where. I think you got to walk that to me. So this has to be our flap for.
Jesus Christ.
Let's stop here.
Right there.
Yeah, people ruin DJing for me. I did nightclubs, did weddings, did bat mitzvahs, bar mitzvahs, sweet 16s, quinceañeras, proms.
So being that you enjoy it the least now because you've been doing it for so long, what would be your advice for somebody young or old that's looking to get into DJing?
Um,
Let me bring the extension cord out so we can
so yeah, you got to be coachable. But every event, you got a different coach, i.e. the crowd. The crowd is going to teach you and tell you what to play, what plays to run, how they're feeling. Everybody also expects DJs to be the MC now. They don't pay for
right.
separate MCs in general. So until you get to a level where you can command a $8,000 check so you can pay your MC $3,000-$4,000 and pay yourself $3,000-$4,000, you know, you have to develop multiple skill sets. You have to be a combo guard. You can't just play one position.
So are we diving into the current events or nah?
In terms of what?
I mean, in terms of anything, I feel like now that the election has died down, tensions have quelled a little bit, emotions have settled, because some people were like on lunatic mode. I feel like now we can have something sort of similar or resembling a sensible conversation about it with people. Like, it was just like either you're going to vote this way or die. There was no in between.
To be fair, they took U.S. civics out of classrooms in the 1960s to make room for standardized education, which personally I think just makes kids stupid. Because you want every kid to fit into the same box. And that's just not how human beings in general work. You know, there are plenty of ways to get down the road.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to just stand right in front of you. My bad, bro.
There are plenty of ways to solve a problem. And oftentimes the first one we think about may not even be the most efficient. It might get the job done, but over time, might not be the best solution. So why try to fit every kid into the same box and then expect them to think differently at the end of the road? You've trained them for 12 to 16 years how to think one way. And then after college, you expect this 16-year, 18-year, 21-year path to suddenly produce different results. That's largely why we in the position we in now. You know what I'm saying? Like, these spikes are not gonna work, but I'll put them in.
I think the spikes are for this.
If you can zoom in from there, I wish y'all could see this. This is what you never put in the ground.
The spikes are for this, though. To be fair, there might be different spikes in that bag.
Never.
But I have been advised.
MSG groundhogs.
There it goes.
If they'd like to sponsor this video, or tents for the, spikes for the tent, by all means, love y'all. But people don't understand how politics works. They don't understand how voting works. They don't even understand the basic concept of any of this, right? And it's simple math. If someone is fighting really, really hard for you to not do something, then there's a reason why you should probably be doing it.
Elaborate.
Oftentimes,
elaborate for those who may be questioning what you're speaking about.
So every 4 years, we go through the same thing now, right? The red people scream voter laws, voter ID, whatever. The blue people are confused and they're like, what are you talking about? And they do this dance with us back and forth for everybody to pick a red side, a blue side, whatever side. But in reality, you should be voting from local through state to federal election,
I agree.
right? The president is not coming to help you fix the potholes outside of your house.
I agree.
Your congressman is not showing up to help you fix your Board of Education's financial spending habits. Your property taxes are not controlled by the president.
Right. Wait, who is it controlled by? The county?
Generally, the state
Right.
sets a precedent. Counties and then municipalities
Counties then adjusted
themselves
accordingly. Okay.
do their thing, right? It's the reason why, like, THNK's property taxes cost you, 60% of our property taxes go toward education. But in Orange, 60% of your property taxes do not go toward education.
So
That the president is magically going to solve 95% of the things that are bothering them. Women's health care should not be governed, but it is apparently a hot topic between the Reds and the Blues. I don't have a uterus. I don't need to have a conversation about who has a uterus and who doesn't.
right.
If they have a uterus, let them do and make decisions for the uterus that they find that they need to make. It's not my business.
So
It's not even my household.
just
I
trying
don't even
to
pay taxes on it.
just trying to provide some clarity on this. When the conversation was being held about women's rights and things of that nature, were they talking about women's rights across the board, saying that they were just going to remove abortion, or were they going to, or were the steps put in place or the suggestions put in place is that abortion was going to be on the state to state or governed by on the state to state level, kind of like how we were talking about with property taxes and such.
Right. So Roe v. Wade essentially made women's health care and reproductive care a federal issue, meaning that states could not pick and choose what they wanted to do.
Okay.
Some people believe in big government. Some people believe in small government. I don't even get into that fight anymore.
Right.
Because most of the time they don't even know what big government or small government is.
Right.
But Roe v. Wade was the reason why you could live in any state and get roughly the same sort of care per state, right?
Bless you.
Pardon me. Once it was removed, it meant that states could pick and choose what they so felt they wanted to offer, cover, etc., dealing with women's rights.
Okay.
That posed an issue because the overall consensus has always been that adult white Christian men in America only want to look out for their best interest,
Which is the
which
continuance
is controlling
of the
right?
white race.
Their population and demographic.
Right.
If we go look at the numbers, they are starting to get to the point where they are no longer the majority.
Right.
They are the minority majority, but there are collectively more minorities put together than there are of them separately.
Right.
They don't like that. It's not all white, adult, male Christians in the country, but this vast majority, if we go look at how they voted this past election, right?
Right.
With that being said, women's reproductive rights is about control. No more, no less. What women do with their bodies is of vast importance to the overall game plan of America. Because ever since the time period before Rosie the Riveter, before men went to war and women had to go produce missiles and boats and steel girders, it was a one-family household to survive.
Fair.
Once they figured out how they could get two people into the workforce and out of the house, They can assert dominance and control. So what does that mean? It means that if you control women, you control everybody else.
That part.
If you control how many people have babies, you control your numbers. It
Wait,
also means that you can cover up stuff like
Can-
Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and the likes.
can we take a
And
step back and elaborate though? Because I'm not sure that, I'm not going to assume that the majority doesn't know. But when you say things like, if you control women, you effectively can control the
if you
world.
control the creators of life,
Right.
the nurturers, then you control the population.
Okay.
If you control what limitations or not that they have, you control what the outcourse of actions are, right? I.e., date rape, sex trafficking, prostitution, etc., etc. So you can have a scenario like a Brock, right? The swimmer kid.
Oh, Brock Turner?
Yes.
I think that's
who
what was his
can
name.
rape someone, potentially get them pregnant, and now that person legally has to keep the baby or face being, sent to jail. So most people don't want to go to jail, so they're going to have to do something drastic, or they're going to have to keep the kid. But what does that do? That means that now all of the Harvey Weinsteins, Jeffrey Epsteins, the folks that have the backdoor Hollywood parties can now get their mistress, their side hoe, whatever you want to call them, pregnant and force them to keep the baby.
Is that what it's proposing though? Because from what I was reading, even with Donald Trump coming into office, he stated that with the exceptions of rape and incest, excuse me, I can't make that plural, that those were going to be the only exceptions to which they were like placing such stringent standards on. And I think the term, it was just, again, when the states took control, that's when they were like, well, 4 weeks, that's it. 6 weeks, that's it.
Right. But again, they can say that there's an exception, but who gets to determine what the exception is?
Fair.
If we already have a hard time proving rape, how do you get the exception?
How do you prove incest?
If DNA kits from rape take a year
Right.
or more
Fair.
to get sorted, and you only get 6 weeks, I mean, hell, you're only pregnant for 9 to 10 months at max.
Excuse me, I just need to wash my hands. You want to plug the other blower up? Now, would
they
I
both
be
go in the same hole? Pardon the punchline. There's no second. There's no second leg.
Oh, I didn't know that this was a DVP situation.
Oh, never mind. Figured it out. Two of them.
Oh, so they are
So-
closer together. I don't need the extension cord. Okay. Oh, I thought this was a DVP situation.
I mean, listen.
So why do you tie the cord? Oh, to keep them from separating?
Yep.
Copy.
I mean, in general, to keep people from kicking it apart, but also just because not all cords are made equal.
Okay.
And you might run into one that just doesn't want to stay in.
That's what she said.
Yep. And I often have kicked them out, even just using my table saw, like the vibration will just, well, shouldn't have done it like that, but.
Hand me that cord, please.
So the other part of it is you can tell that it's a control battle because at no point is there an on-off switch.
Has to be.
Yep. It's just alive! Shout out to Jim Carrey. Nobody would be willing to fight this hard for control Like, there wasn't a reason to control it. Simple math, right?
Should have started your stopwatch. See how long it took to blow up, but it's okay.
It's
We could,
12:51 and 30 seconds.
yeah, we could.
But to answer your point, I don't think we need to be involved with what women or anybody in general does with their body. Now, that is a general statement. I understand general statements don't work, right?
Camera's right there.
I don't think that a 10-year-old who wets the bed and still complains about wanting snacks before they go to sleep should be in control of their own decisions in a gender assignment surgery. But I think that should be left to the abilities of the parents and the guardians in their life to deal with. I, who am not their parent nor guardian, should not necessarily have a say in what happens to that child or not. I can say I don't disagree with it, but at the end of the day, it's not my child. I am not in the care of the child. If something happens to that child because of said surgery and whatnot, while I will be saddened, I can also be empathetic and sympathetic at the same time, right? I can say internally that I don't think you should have done it. And if you hadn't done it, XYZ would not have happened to said child. But at the end of the day, I can also say that that child and their parents had the freedom to make the decision.
Right.
The outcome is something you just gotta live with, right? People can say that about my kid. My kid has a tablet. Hell, my kid has 2 tablets. But some people don't believe in screen time at all. I draw, I do calligraphy. My grandfather does calligraphy. We've always drawn. So if the easiest way for me to let my kid draw is via a tablet and me not having to carry a printer paper worth of papers for them to draw on,
or mess up,
or
and then
for
throw
have
away.
markers to draw on the couch, then why wouldn't I do it?
Exactly.
Right? I can still monitor what they're doing. It just doesn't have to be one way, right? People are under the notion that people use abortions as a form of birth control. Whether I believe in that nonsense or not, again, isn't my concern. Are they doing it safely? People are so concerned for the potential baby or addition of life to bring into the universe, but they're also not concerned with paying for universal health care so that that child then has the health care they need afterwards.
So let's actually talk about that for a moment too, because there's like 2 points that I want to address. Number one being the idea that from what I've read about universal health care, Canadians say it sucks. Anybody who, with the exception of like Denmark, they say that their universal health care sucks. Their access to quality health care and all of that. Now, it could be due to the terrain of Canada and shit like that, but they're like, even how far it is to get to quality physicians and shit like that is an issue. To your point, though, about using abortion as a form of birth control, complete transparency as somebody who was irresponsible at one point in time and run into some individuals sometimes at these places and shit like that, and just, some people telling their business. Some people are in the neighborhood of like 8+ abortions. I'm not putting specifically, I would never do no shit like that. But there is a conversation that we do need to have within our community about not sexual deviance, but lack of sexual responsibility.
I mean, I think you can have that conversation and also mind your medical business.
That
I don't see why both can't be true.
Fair.
Right? It's not a new conundrum that human beings like to have sex. Bro, the Egyptians was outside fucking like rabbits.
Right. That's not necessarily my point. I don't care that you want to have sex, but having unprotected sex and expecting no consequence to come behind that, whether it be the woman now being put at medical risk because of her pregnancy. Like, let's just say she gets pregnant and wants to keep it, but she got pregnant unintentionally.
You think we should open the flap to see what it does?
Yes.
It's the zipper on the right there. It's at the bottom.
Like I said, we are a community. And when I say a community, I'm talking about us specifically who aren't necessarily in the space to have children, but we are having unprotected sex in excess. We pop honey packs like them shits are vitamins, more than we actually take vitamins as a collective. Like, yes, there are some of us who are super health conscious, but
I don't disagree, right? But I think one is education based and one is health based, like medically health based. I can give you all of the education in the world that I want to give you, but unless there is somebody near you who is talking to you, or unless the overall thought is that, yo, we shouldn't do that, I still got to mind my medical business. Like, I can give you the education.
that's fair.
Right? I don't think we should ever have stopped giving sexual education or making it like that. But it's not just a Black community issue. It is an everyone issue. Girls Gone Wild existed for a reason. Like, people think that it's Black people bankrupting the system in terms of wealth care, Medicaid, Medicare, health services, and it's not. Now, do we contribute? Yes, everyone contributes. I mean, what's the thing Homeboy said in the Brother Son, about alcohol, Asians and alcohol, right? That they are like predisposed to be allergic to alcohol for whatever reason. They still fucking drink it. They still get drunk.
Yeah.
It's not stopping them.
But they don't drink traditional alcohol though. Isn't there shit like rice, whiskey, and shit like that?
Right. They drink a different kind. But
right.
What I'm saying is they still drink alcohol. So it's not necessarily that you need to educate away the issue. You need to change how the issue is perceived. And then people will move accordingly. But in the past decade or past 2 decades, right, wigs have become a thing. When we were kids in the 80s and 90s and 70s, I mean, grandma wore wigs. Like, grandma had a wig on her nightstand.
Right, because of her losing her hair type shit. It wasn't like she wore a wig because of
hot combs and general age, right? Your hair thins out.
Right.
Now, I mean, you have little girls wearing wigs.
Right.
Whether I see the point in it or not, that's just what people are doing. So if you want to affect that, you have to affect everybody at once. This whole we're just going to target our community thing has proven largely to not work, because our community alone does not drive all of the trends. People don't think that white women wear wigs. They don't think that Yiddish moms don't have weaves. You think Europeans' hair is that thick? Absolutely the fuck not.
So we're talking about the difference between wearing them out of necessity or religion versus you just wearing a wig because you want to wear a wig.
Who am I to determine the need for either?
I mean, that part. I mean, but however, you can have a preference though, no, as to whether or not you want to deal with a woman who wears a wig religiously and she doesn't have to. Her suffering from alopecia, her suffering from her hair just, like my daughter when she was born, like she had, because of her eczema, she had patches all in her shit, bro. And I was like, damn, my baby might be bald, bro. Like,
right. But that's my point, right? Things change over time. You have more information, you move differently. So it's not my duty.
Do we have to walk on this?
Huh?
Do you think we should walk on this?
Probably not. I think when we start to roll it. So I actually think it deflated in the way that we should roll it.
For sure.
I think that
maybe like one
should
over
roll it this way,
and then over,
and then roll this in, always leaving the tail for the last so that we know where our main corner is.
Copy.
When you unroll it.
Copy that.
But like whether I like a weave or a wig or a permanent protective style, right? Because
I don't. Yeah, the right doesn't remain for me to tell somebody what to do with their shit.
Right, but at this point, it's a permanent protective style. But whether I like it or not, don't really matter.
Yeah, that's fair. It's a fair assessment.
It ain't nobody business but my own. If you open your handle, won't go, squeeze, open, that will release your strap when you have it in. In order to load the strap, you want this bar to not be blocked by the handle at all. Come this way. We have our hook. We have other side of the strap. For all intents and purposes, we will assume that this strap is not twisted. You don't want to twist your straps. And we will take our handle, point it away from us. We will load our strap like such.
Does the orange strip matter?
Some of them may not have an orange strip, so you just want to load on the same side that is wrapped around so you don't have any twists.
Copy that.
If I say the orange stripe matters, people are going to always look for orange stripe.
For sure.
And if they don't have an orange stripe, then they're going to be confused. So we pull until we reach tension. And being that this is not a hard object, we want to pull this as tight as humanly possible and take up as much slack before we begin our ratchet. And then we begin to ratchet. So we want to pull tight. And now you have a ratchet strap. Now, with excess, you can fold your excess like so. Probably easier to do without gloves, but it's fine. And this is a new strap. So we're going to keep folding and folding. And then, oh my goodness, sticking to my gloves. We're going to wrap our strap around and pull tight. If we had something like a truck, we would tie this to the truck, or we can simply tuck away. I don't think I can get my hand in there, but we tuck it in and then we're done.
Cool. Cool. So you've effectively watched us set up this inflatable house and take it down, and an extensive review will soon come.
It's 1:33. I don't even remember when we started.
I mean, we'll go back and check, and I'll post it and, let them know. But yeah, man, I appreciate you for pulling up per usual. I appreciate you for being a guest today for our unofficial episode back from a long hiatus. I do apologize to those of you who may have subscribed and have been waiting and been like, yo, dude, what's up with material? Life has been lifing. With the encouragement of yours truly, he helped me get back into the groove of things and basically get into the mindset of just doing it. There's always going to be something wrong. There's always going to be something that's going to get in the way of that plan that you put in place. Execute anyway. That's basically what I've gotten from my pep talks. If you care to elaborate any more, sir, I invite you to.
I mean, life is always gonna life, right? Look at me. I recently got laid off. I had been planning a 2025 exit from my job anyway. I've been there over 7 years. And while I was on vacation, they called me. They said they didn't want me no more. And that was that. Now, to my benefit, they did offer me some severance. But for the other 5 or 6 people that got laid off, some of them didn't get a severance. So, you take it how it comes. But I have a wood shop. I want to do woodwork, carpentry full time. I like building things for events. I like building things in general. I like being able to design things. I don't have all of the equipment I need, right? So working on that. But in the past 2 weeks, I've been working on my plan. I can't tell people how to help me if I don't know how to help myself. So life is always going to throw things at you. It's not necessarily what you do when something gets thrown at you. It's, do you catch the ball and keep running? Do you get knocked down and pop back up? Do you stop and look ahead and figure out, okay, I hit a wall or I hit a speed bump. Are there any more coming? Is there anything I can plan for? Right? Control what you can, let the rest go. You can't control whether or not something sporadically is going to happen, right? But if you can control something else, then you control that. Everything else is just going to happen. But you can't let that stop you. That'd be my advice, right? Things are always going to happen. Things are always going to get in the way. When you wake up and say, I'm going to get after it, or you wake up and say, maybe tomorrow, those are two different people. Those can be the same person on different days, sure, but you want to fight to be as consistent as possible. Most of the time, the things we consume, the videos we watch, the people that go viral, the companies that blow up, it's not because they inherently were just rich. Sometimes that does happen, but we've also seen rich people blow a bag.
Facts.
The next incoming president is a terrible businessman. He has done a lot of bad things with his dad's money. His dad would probably be rolling around in his grave at how bad of an investor and businessman he is. But the money has helped keep him moving forward. But he's not good at it, right? But then we see people like Melinda and Bill Gates, Elon Musk, right? Elon Musk didn't invent Tesla. He didn't make it, but he helped make it famous because they were in a downward spiral to nowhere land. And he was like, no, let's da-da-da-da-da, and boom, here they are today, right? So, my grandfather says this all the time. If money is the only thing in your way, there's nothing really stopping you. You can get money. You can get a lot of money, whether it be credit, whether it be some other form, right? A loan, however you get it, right? But you can always get your hands on money. What you do after that determines your outcome. You can rob a bank today and make $250,000. If you don't know what to do with $250,000, well, what good did robbing a bank do?
Pretty much, you're just spending the money at that point.
I mean, you risk your freedom to get money, but you don't know what to do with the money. So why risk the freedom?
God forbid you get caught and do 25 years. You only effectively got, what, 10,000?
You might not even got that.
If that.
So it really comes down to, you have to say, hey, I'm not the only person that something bad has happened to. But I am a person. I can be affected by it, but I won't let it stop me. And you just got to get up. You got to go do something. 1% better a day is better than 0% better a day. 1% every day makes you 1% better. 0% every day doesn't make you better.
That's a fact.
This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. The turtle wins eventually. The rabbit gets burnt out or loses focus.
That's a bar. I think that's what we're going to title this episode. The turtle wins eventually. Or just do it, no swoosh.
Hey, listen. You know what I'm saying? For me, right? My plan right now is to finish my website so that I have a proper everything displayed. I haven't maintained it in the past 6 years, and that's on me, right? I can't blame nobody for that. But all of the video content I've made for myself, all of the photography, video work, DJing, and woodwork that I've done is not on my website. Some of it is there sporadically, but it's not there, right? You have to go to Instagram to see any of it. I got 4 Instagrams. That's not efficient. I didn't need it to be efficient because I had a day job. I don't really care. But now that I need people to go look at things and potentially find more than one of my talents in one place, I got to make it efficient. After that, I can call my friends, I can call my family and say, hey, listen, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. This is how you can help. But if I don't make that plan first, they can't help me.
So in the meanwhile, if any of you want any custom wood pieces or woodworking done, let the people know how to get in touch with you, man.
You can find me on Instagram, by Reynoir. That is BYREYNOIR. Or for the military heads, Bravo Yankee, Roger Echo, Yankee Nancy, Oscar Indigo Roger on Instagram. You can find my website at the same, byrenoir.com, or Reynoir, as my mother-in-law loves to call me. Nothing is too big or too small. I can make cutting boards. I can make you an entire cabinet. Doesn't really matter. I'm here and open to any conversation. I just appreciate anybody looking. Like my boy, my bro right here, he always supports. So, resharing something that you like, resharing anything on the page helps. It's free. It don't cost you nothing. It helps my visibility.
It must hurt your finger or something, bro, to like hit a like button or like send it to somebody. You'll literally hear somebody being like, damn, I need something built. And you'll be like, well, literally be looking at the woodworker. Fuck him. Don't be like that. Don't be like that. We got to abandon that space. And I know that some of us be in our feelings sometimes also. I know I do. My friends don't necessarily share my shit, but at this point, somebody's going to share it one day. And the right person's going to catch wind, and it's going to be up from there. And it's not going to be a space of where it's like, yo, I remember when you didn't rock with me. Nobody cares. You know what I mean? I hope we all win at some point. So this way, unfortunately, it got to be some losers sometimes.
I mean, somebody's always going to lose. Depends on the day, right? I don't even look at it in terms of why people don't share, why people don't like, or anything like that. I just think that people show up how they show up, and I don't get to control that narrative. I don't get to control whether I am a hero or a villain or a supporting character in somebody else's brain. It's not for me to decide. It's not for me to concern myself with.
I'm always the villain.
I can ask. Whether they do it or not is regardless irrelevant to me.
Right.
Whether they do it or not is irrelevant, right? People show up for me in different ways, in different times. People will call me out the blue. People will invite me to their house, whether it's here or in the middle of nowhere. They may not post anything, but it is what it is.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't control that narrative nor that story. They also may not be able to afford me, or they may not think they can afford me, or they don't want to waste the time. Again, it's irrelevant. It's not for me to make or feel some type of way about. If they decide to show the love, then they show the love. But I can't always 100% be there for everyone as well. So it goes both ways. How do I expect you to always be there for me, and I can't always be there for you? We pick and choose who you spend time with, who you call, who you text, and it translates, right? Some people are also more social than others. I'm not inherently a social media bug. You put me in a room with people and I can be personable, but I'm not personable online.
Right.
I don't much like talking to myself with the anticipation
somebody else
someone else
reacts. For sure.
To me, that is still very odd. I'm an introvert on social media. I'm an extrovert outside. but I'm an introvert at heart. Put me in a room, people, I become extroverted. Put me with my Xbox, I'll see y'all in 4 hours.
Xbox, bro. You gotta get you a PlayStation, bro.
I have a PlayStation. I don't use it.
You gotta change that then.
No, it collects dust. You can't use it as a media player. It serves no function.
What do you mean?
Find an ABC app on PlayStation. It don't exist.
What is ABC? What do you mean for
Like the
kids?
television station?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like
I mean, I guess
I
that's
use
not.
my Xbox for literally everything. If I want to go watch CBS, PBS, if I want to watch Hulu, Disney, whatever, if I want to play a video game, great. It's all in one place. I don't care to be the person that's just like, well, I have this fancy device and it looks great. Don't give a fuck.
It's not about that, bro. The PlayStation is a good. Well, that's a conversation for another day.
I started on PlayStation.
The PlayStation is a great device, bro. It's great. Just like the Xbox.
One thing.
No, you can watch media on it also.
What am I doing? Watching DVDs?
No.
Get a DVD person. I don't own DVDs.
You can stream. I get Apple Music there. I get Apple TV on PlayStation.
Is Apple generic? Does the whole world use Apple?
Bro, that's not
every device in my house an Apple device? No.
Netflix is available.
I have Netflix.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's not.
Where are the rest of the apps?
Bro, it can do the same thing. These devices do the same thing. I did one better.
Can my grandmother use a PlayStation?
Why can't she?
Because World News doesn't exist. NBC doesn't exist. ABC doesn't exist. So no, it is not a universal device.
Wait, hold up. Because PlayStation does have a television app, if I'm not mistaken.
They have a television app, but you have to plug it into your cable.
No. It's something that you just pay for, and it's on your PlayStation, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, if I'm not mistaken. Different from how my cousin has it set up. My cousin has his actual cable connected to his PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that's a whole nother conversation for another day in terms of which is the better system.
All I'm saying is, we have all the systems. Between me and my brother, we have all the systems.
And now cross-play is available also. So
it's whatever fits your fancy. For me, PlayStation does not fit in my ecosystem very well. It's just too many. I got to go do something else to get back to it, which is how I feel about Apple. I got to circumnavigate what you don't want me to do so I can do it on the device. I don't have time for that. I just want to go do it. I don't want to argue with the software development team on why I shouldn't do it. I don't care. I paid you for it. Give it to me. Please just move. Just move. Let me do it. Let me figure it out.
No, that's a fact.
If I break it, that's on me. I understand that. And I get that some people are delusional. And they're like, well, you know.
Oh my God.
My Xbox caught on fire. Sir, what were you doing?
Yeah,
well, I had it in my kitchen and okay.
I used to watch hella movies on my Xbox.
You can plug a hard drive into both.
I did. And that's what I used to do and watch the movies on it. And then I got the PlayStation 3. And I think the last Xbox I got was like the one before this one.
So the 360?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was okay.
That was where a lot of people started with Xbox.
It was okay. I just enjoyed the first person games with PlayStation a lot better. And that was just me. That's because I didn't online play I didn't play multiplayer games. It also
depends on what games you play, right? Which is why we have both. Some games just don't exist on Xbox.
Right.
But in my realm, right, my Xbox is where I watch media. It's also where I play games. I only have one device. Like, it is a minimal setup. So all of my apps are logged in, and I can bounce from app to app to app, or I can go to the games.
Okay.
Right? If I got to put on YouTube for the baby, I can put on YouTube for the baby. If I want to go do this, I can go do that, right? Like, it's all in one place. It just works for me, right? It's also black. Fits in. It disappears. I mean,
we can make our PlayStation black too, bro.
You can, but it doesn't come like that.
Fair.
So again, I have to do more work to get it to fit.
I guess.
Right?
I guess.
There are plenty of things that the Xbox doesn't do that piss me off.
The little fucking alien box.
Looks like a refrigerator.
Yeah, sure it does. Like a mini fridge.
Yeah.
However, that's why they gave you a mini fridge to go with it.
However, it does pack very easily, whereas the PlayStation,
it's a bit cumbersome.
It's
a bit cumbersome, for sure.
You know, so to each their own, right? But I also like stream and I like PC. Xbox is PC based.
Right.
Makes
That's real.
playing games on a PC way easier. I don't have to do nothing. I can just plug the Xbox controller in.
Game
and be out
Pass
the
is
door.
lit too. I'm not even gonna lie.
I haven't gotten that far down the road.
Game Pass, if their library was anywhere as extensive as PlayStation's, bro, like they would be a contender for sure. They just don't have enough exclusives.
Now it is. I don't even think it's about the exclusives. I think people just don't want to spend $70 a year per game on games. So if you just make the games available,
bro, those first person, listen, a lot of PlayStation exclusives are fire. God of War, Uncharted, fucking what the fuck else is
but everybody don't
Spider-Man.
Right, but everybody doesn't enjoy playing by themselves.
Fair. That's
so
fair.
You have a growing contingent that wants to do both.
Right.
Or one or the other.
Right.
So if you want to play Battlefield 2024, if you want to, Battlefield 2030 or 2040, whatever. If you want to play Call of Duty, if you want to play Madden, 2K, FIFA, hockey, NHL joints, like you want to play with the homies now, great. It's been a point of contention for Call of Duty to reverse their stance on having a multiplayer campaign mode. And Treyarch took it out in a new one.
That's crazy.
It'd be so much better and so much more fun
if we could beat the game together type shit.
If the 2 or 3 supporting characters in a game are all controlled by the same people.
Right.
What the fuck is that? Oh, that's tennis. It would be so much more fun to play like that. But oftentimes companies do not care. They do what is best for them, and we just have to be okay with that. Or you got to be like a really, really big personality to be like, yo, we're boycotting until they fix da-da-da-da-da, and potentially get enough people on your side to cause havoc to get them to change it, right? But there's no reason why you can't make a campaign mode at this point where you could add friends in. But it comes down to money, right? You can't do multiplayer on Xbox or PlayStation with just a guest controller anymore. The other guest player now has to have a profile.
No, they don't.
Online, you can't play Call of Duty online multiplayer without the other person signing in to be the second
copy. I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? So like, that's just a money thing.
Right.
Because there's no reason why you can't do it. You can count the stats and make them disappear. Doesn't matter.
I mean, but you can also have a PlayStation account without having a PlayStation now too.
I mean, I thought you always could.
No. Before, it was some weird shit. But now that they have, like, the PlayStation Portal, you can have an account without actually having a console now. But, whatever. Like you said, to each their own, whatever fits your lifestyle. So, I mean, the whole purpose of us having this conversation is to kind of quell these weird-ass debates as much as we possibly can within the gaming community. So if you're an Xboxer or a PlayStation fanatic, bro, enjoy your games, especially now that shit is cross-gen or cross-play.
Cross-play, which arguably, like, I think consoles are in danger to begin with. I think PlayStation is going to be in danger very, very soon with Sony because the exclusives are not necessarily drawing the crowd that they think they're drawing.
Nah, they are, bro. I'm telling you. Ghost of Tsushima, all of these exclusives, bro.
But go look at the numbers, right? We can say that as fans of a particular game, but how many people can you text and be like, yo, you play Ghost of Tsushima yet?
All of PlayStation players that I know have at minimum played Ghost of Tsushima. They've played Uncharted. They've played God of War.
What I'm saying is, if that game was available not on PlayStation, would they still go to PlayStation?
Yeah, that's fair.
So with Steam, you could take all of that and play it on whatever platform, in your hand, on your TV, at your computer, right? So like, what is stopping those gaming companies from backing out of their exclusive deals to have access to more customers? You think they tied into the contract forever? No.
Well, I guess it's them in the studio negotiations, though.
But
Rockstar, Naughty Dog. Like, Naughty Dog is owned by Sony, I think.
Right, but if the studios start to break away, what they finna do? We can do force their hand? They just leapfrog and start another company and send their board members over there and start doing it how they want to do it. You can't rule with an iron hammer forever.
That part.
So eventually, somebody is going to break the mold, and consoles, the whole console war thing is just going to die.
Nah, for sure.
Because where is Wii Sports on a Switch? Right? So now that you're starting to get that to the Switch, the Wii is still very much active, right?
Yeah.
But who's made a Wii Sports type of game for Xbox and PlayStation? You had a whole company called NEX Next make this little cube thing so that you could play interactive games. Xbox had the Kinect. PlayStation had the wand and the other joint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Did.
So like they could keep it going, they choose not to.
That's just like a niche market. That's more of a niche market than anything, bro. Like the ability to, like, I found it weird. I was playing Call of Duty the other day. I found it weird that I like put my controller down and like the focus like moved. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, that's wild, bro. I didn't even know that shit did that. It's kind of annoying, honestly, because I'm used to like, you know what I'm saying? And like,
are you playing 6, the newest one?
Black Ops, yeah.
So I think it has to do with the Omni movements.
I think so too, and that's what I was thinking. But still, it just caught me off guard because I'm in the safe house just looking around, and I put the controller down to like look up the piano code because I was like, yo, bro, I'm not doing that. Like that part of the shit, I'll figure out the puzzles in Uncharted, but Black Ops, I'm not doing that. So I went to go look at the code. When I looked back up at the screen, he was looking at the ground. I was like, what the fuck? So I thought I moved my I was like, damn, my controller is suffering from stick drift. I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
But for the sake of time, this is a whole nother conversation. We'll talk about Kendrick's next album or his newest album and most recent music releases.
I think the album is a decent album. I don't know when he recorded it to really comment on the flow, because like his flow in some of the songs is different than the other ones.
Right.
They sound like, I think why can't I remember the name of the song? What's the Rumble song? Oh my goodness.
Squabble Up?
Thank you. Sounds exactly like They Not Like Us. His delivery, his cadence, everything. It sounds almost like a second coming of They Not Like Us. Like if he made them at the same time, I'd believe it.
Yeah. But if that cadence was different, bro.
But if you go to the joint with him and SZA, it's completely different.
Which one? Because both of them are fire. You talking about Gloria or Luther?
Luther.
Gloria is my shit, bro. I like that song, bro.
But
what's up? We going to Kendrick concert?
I mean, I listen to Kendrick. I'm not going to a Kendrick concert.
Okay, no problem. Well, SZA's headlining also, so I just asked. It's okay. I'll be in the crowd by myself. It's quite all right.
I don't do crowds. I'm not the concert person.
Okay.
And I don't want to be in the front.
I don't want to be in the front either. I sit like all of the concerts that I go to, I sit not on the first level, but the first row on the second level. So I could still see all of that, and I'm still close enough to an exit.
Oh, well, being elevated is different. I don't want to be on the first floor.
No, sir.
With a crowd. And
I fucked up at Summer Jam. And I got rained on. So we're
quiet.
At Summer Jam like this. Yeah, no, nope.
That's quiet.
Nope. Never again. Basketball games, I don't really like being on the floor. It's cool. I've been to the Barclays and shit like that. Maybe it's different if it's like an exciting game, but I want to be back so I can watch the game.
I mean, I don't want to be courtside.
No.
But damn, it's a big chicken.
Bro, there'd be like 4 of them. I'll pull into here sometimes and there'll be like 4 of them.
Bang. 22 will go nice right now.
Oh, so, well, I mean, we're not going to talk about that. That's for another conversation. But once again, my brother, I appreciate you for pulling up on me. I appreciate you for testing out the inflatable house.
No doubt.
I appreciate your insight. We will always love to have you back. Your insight and your expertise is always appreciated.
Appreciate you for having me, bro.
For those of you who have tuned in, you are once again appreciated. I apologize for the delay. I promise that I owe it to you guys and myself and my family to be more consistent and to do more. And we hope to bring you more unboxings, more insights as Black men and as parents, and creatives trying to maneuver and navigate through this fucking world and be corporate figures also. I thank you once again for tuning in to You Think Podcast. I am your host, Mr. Hughes. Special shout out to my special guest once again, Reynoir.
Ear.
And
Sakafet on my Asians.
Sakafet. Yeah, man, we thank you for tuning in and hope to see you again next time. Love, peace, and hair grease. Oh, I hope that caught that.
Gonna give myself a high five here since he left me hanging.
Cobra, I'm not, yo. Damn, I'm getting attacked by my dog for giving a high five. That's crazy. You're supposed to attack company. It's wicked, bro. Peace.